Good day. Here's a quick tutorial on how to properly install your NextGen boiler. Let's get started. Hello, I'm Matt from NextGen Boiler, and in today's video, we're going to go over some guidelines to follow when installing your NextGen boiler. Before we get started, please be sure to read and follow the installation manual provided with your boiler. These instructions must be strictly followed to ensure proper, reliable operation and longevity of your boiler. Each box will contain the boiler, outdoor sensor, installation manual, and 2 bags containing mounting hardware, gaskets, and extra fuses. You will begin by choosing the correct place to mount the boiler. Refer to the mounting clearance diagram on page 5 of the installation manual to ensure you make the correct holes and prepare for the water connections so they align correctly. When plumbing your water connections, we highly recommend installing flow and return valves. This will allow for easier access to the boiler if the need arises in the future. We always recommend to first power flush the boiler and the related hydronic components prior to final filling and pressurizing. Water quality is critical for a closed-loop hydronic system. You should aim for a pH level between 6 and 7 to extend the longevity of the boiler. After flushing the system, make sure to clean out the magnetic filter prior to the final filling. Once you are ready, it's time to fill and purge the loops and boiler. If you're using a propylene glycol solution, remember to not use more than a 50% ratio. Using propylene glycol can lower your BTU output and change the flow of the circular pump. You will need a minimum of 7 psi in a system for a boiler to operate. Typically, hydronic systems require a psi above the pre-charge expansion tank. For the NextGen boiler, that is a 14 psi. All electrical work must be completed in accordance with your local and state electrical codes by a licensed electrician. Prepare the 240 volt cord and bring it into the boiler using one of the available 1/2 inch knockouts. Start by connecting the neutral wire and tightening the wire into place using a 3/16 hex key tool. Then proceed to connect the L1 and the L2 wires. It is very important to take the time to carefully tighten the wires as thoroughly as possible. Next, prepare to connect the separate power source for the circulating pump. The circulating pump requires a 120 VAC 15 amp electrical circuit. If your hydronic system requires a secondary pump, utilize the pump 2 connection to operate the second pump. This is located below the 120 VAC power source. Extra fuses are taped inside the boiler. The next item we will go over is the thermostat. The boiler can be signaled to turn on from a standard 2-wire thermostat. These connections should all be voltage free. Connect the 2 18-gauge thermostat wires from the thermostat to the TT connections on the bottom left of the control panel. You can utilize the additional knockouts to gain access to the control panel. Always make sure to place the thermostat in a place where it cannot be influenced by other heat sources. The NextGen boiler is equipped with an optional ability to receive a utility signal for an off-peak connection. This connection is normally closed and can be found on the bottom left corner of the control panel under OP. If you do not have the boiler connected to a utility radio receiver, please keep this connection closed with the white wire which is pre-installed with the boiler. You can consult with your local utility about the off-peak installations. The last part of the electrical installation on the boiler is the option to use the outdoor sensor. This is used for outdoor compensation capability. Our recommendation is to install the sensor on the north side of the building. The sensor should be kept away from any heat source. Refer to the advanced setting selection of the manual to properly set the heat curve. As a final check, verify all electrical connections are tight. The failure caused by loose connections can cause premature failure of the electrical components. The control panel consists of 2 working areas, the signaling area and control buttons. Utilize the right arrow to scroll through the parameters of the boiler. If no button is pushed, the boiler will automatically switch to the main view after 1 minute. The 4 buttons to familiarize yourself with are the boiler power, up and down selection, and the scroll option. The control panel allows you to identify the flow rate, PSI, inlet and outlet temperature, and the BTU per hour of the boiler at any given time. It can also aid in identifying faults with the boiler by displaying fault codes. Now we're going to talk about turning your NextGen boiler into standby or summer mode. Detailed instructions on how to do so can be found on page 13 of the installation video. To switch your NextGen boiler into standby mode, you want to press and hold the power button for 3 seconds. Once you have done so, a red indicator light on the control panel will start flashing. Please refer to page 15 of the installation and service manual for common troubleshooting problems. Please note that we do not recommend servicing this boiler unless you have been trained in all aspects of its functionality and methods of repair. Failure to service properly may lead to further damage to components, the boiler, and will void the warranty. Thank you for taking the time and watching this video. These are a few of the main points you need to follow when installing your NextGen boiler. Please be sure to read and follow the installation manual. We hope you enjoy your NextGen product, and please contact us via nextgenboiler.com with any questions. Thank you and have a good day.